Thank you so much, Dr. Narayan, as always, for giving us perspective. Let's welcome in a very special guest now. Manish Gupta of Sequent Scientific is now joining us, MD at the company. Sir, thank you so much for taking out time for us. It's always great to have a word with you. Just wanted to first talk about a development as far as the company's subsidiary is concerned, where they have acquired 40% stake. And what we also believe is that you have sold your treasury shares in the company, which were existing, so that you don't have to take debt, and essentially you can go ahead and make the payment for making this a 100% subsidiary.
That's correct. So basically, what we have just announced is consolidation of the minority interest in Turkey, wherein the erstwhile promoter held 40% stake. As you would be aware, that Turkey is a key global market in animal health and is also a very important market for us, accounting for almost a fifth of our formulation revenues. We are also a very strong player locally in Turkey, third largest, with very strong manufacturing footprint. And therefore, one of the key elements of our new shareholder strategy was making it 100%, and which is what we have done. Simultaneously, we have also sold our treasury stock in stride shares to the erstwhile promoters. And with that, this entire thing will be financed with no additional debt or any external financing.
Right. So, if you look at Sequent in the last 12 months, there have been a lot of changes. You've got Carlyle coming in, you have sold this stake, changes in top management have also happened at Strides in terms of overall space. Can you just talk to us about Sequent? What essentially are the changes that have happened, and what does that mean for future growth now with this acquisition of minority stake and making it a 100% subsidiary comes in as well?
So I think first, let me just correct that there are, other than at a shareholder level, really there has been no change in Sequent, including at the leadership team level. The entire team is intact. Personally, I see Sequent 2.0 under the new shareholders to be no different from Sequent 1.0 under the erstwhile shareholders, accepting that maybe the scale and scope of our animal health engagement going forward will be slightly bigger and maybe a little bolder. As a team, we would be failing ourselves if we do not leverage the global connect and the reach of Carlyle Group, who are our new shareholders. So again, as I said, it'll be a little bolder and bigger Sequent going forward, but no dramatic changes from the earlier version.
Right. So we recently spoke to a lot of other pharma companies. I know you are into the animal healthcare and not so much as far as, other healthcare is concerned. But, we spoke to Dr. Reddy's recently. Before that, we've spoken to Loris. And all of these companies continue to maintain that because of COVID, there seemed to be a transformational change as far as pharma companies are looked forward, especially here into India from various global players. How would you say this as an opportunity for Indian pharma space, maybe even in your company, the target market that you have? How have transformational changes happened in this COVID crisis?
Yeah, so certainly I concur with the global leaders or the country leaders who have expressed their views on COVID. And I also believe the same, that it has changed the way the world looks at Indian pharma, whether on human health as also on animal health. Personally, I believe this recent pandemic in a way brought out the best in Sequent, both in terms of our business model, which is multifaceted with both APIs and formulations, but also as the response from the management team, which has been extremely proactive. And through these proactive measures, we could ensure that all our plants ran uninterrupted throughout this pandemic. Now, that has really put us in great kind of situation vis-a-vis our customers, who now take our reliability as far more significant compared to our competitors. So all in all, I believe this is going to be a game-changing event as far as Indian pharma, both human and animal health is concerned, and will be seen as a far more reliable partner going forward.
And can you just walk us through some of the details in terms of trends that you're seeing for the animal healthcare sector and what it would mean for your business?
Yeah. So globally, if you see, we are one of those unique companies who do both APIs and formulations in animal health. And within our formulation business also, we have 50% of our revenues coming from Europe and another 50% coming from very interesting markets of Turkey, emerging markets like Brazil, or sorry, Latin American markets like Brazil and Mexico, and then some very important markets like India and key emerging markets. Now, globally, I think the world is going to look at supply chain very, very comprehensively, and that's where both India and Indian companies stand to gain. We see that opportunity even for ourselves, and we are seeing greater traction across all our businesses, especially in the geographies that we are present in. So I think, broadly speaking, outsourcing or strategic outsourcing will become more and more critical, and more than price, I think reliability will become a far important parameter going forward, which will benefit us as well as the other Indian companies.
Okay. And give us a sense as to what you're penciling in for your EBITDA margins going forward in this current environment.
Yeah. So when the global pandemic struck, certainly we were a little nervous about our guidance. Clearly, we didn't know how the world will shape up in the medium term. But as the period has progressed, we now see the rest of the year and also the future with much greater confidence, and reiterate our original guidance, which is about 150 to 200 bips margin improvement year on year in the foreseeable future. So we are very much on track on delivering our guidance in the foreseeable future.
Manish, I have a very interesting question for you. You, of course, have done your deal with Carlyle. Post that, you've seen Carlyle investing into Piramal healthcare business as well. We've seen a very big deal of JB Chemical and KKR, where KKR have taken a very substantial chunk, into the company. When you met investors, when you met Carlyle, when you meet other investors, what is the sense that you're getting about their view on pharma company? You think more and more investments will come if there is any opportunity in pharma sector here in India?
I personally believe so, because I think in pharma, while it kind of went out of fashion for last couple of years, and slightly it was because some of us industry majors kind of took our eye away and let the US FDA issues come in. But industry had got its act together a couple of years back. We are back on the top of compliance game. Clearly, as the world de-risks themselves from China in a way, there is no other place other than India where companies can look forward to, both from a scale and substance perspective, because the skill set that we have in pharma in India is second to none. And that is something which both the Indian entrepreneurs who have leveraged it in the past, but going forward, a lot of private equity capital will find its way into investing in such businesses. And I'm sure more deals will happen in the future.
Sir, just a word on the point that you took forward to, that India's skill is not questionable. It's unmatched. When you talk about the technical knowledge, the execution knowledge that we have in the pharma space. So what does that mean? When we talk about Atmanirbhar Bharat, you think it's a great opportunity for pharma sector in terms of investment, getting back their back integration, going to markets which they earlier did not think they'll go to, or spend up more R&D, so that this Atmanirbhar mission can be taken over by the pharma sector as well?
Absolutely. I think both from Indian market perspective, more so on the API or intermediate side, and also the global formulation and the API market. All of them are interesting opportunities for Indian companies, and there's plenty of space to grow. I think rather than competing with each other, which was in a way partly the historical trend, the overall space is now so much larger that every Indian company can pick up their areas of what they want to focus on and really drive this next phase of both Atmanirbhar Bharat and also a global supplier of pharmaceutical products in the world.
So, thank you so much, sir, for taking out time for us. Hope to talk to you much more in the future about pharma trends, what's happening, and of course, if there are any policy changes to promote further sort of drug discovery that already has been going on. On that note, we are taking a break. Coming back quickly, 140 points higher for the Nifty, 450 for Sensex. Little bit of the day's high, but the broader rally continues.